nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Good morning and welcome to SA Soccer Roundtable. My name is Harry. Joining me is Royce. Rafa may be joining us, or maybe not. Like I said, he got hit in the ball, or he got hit in the nose with the ball last night. So
I did not realize that. Was that during warm-ups?
It was during the warm-ups. The
Wow.
Monterey Bay goalkeeper coach widely missed. We'll just leave it at that. It wasn't even a deflection, and it skinned his nose, and he's all right.
So you're telling me the goalkeeper coach didn't have very good goalkeeper reactions?
Well,
Yikes.
he can't kick. Maybe that's why he's a goalkeeper.
Fair, very fair. That's very fair.
But last night was an interesting night. Great as a San Antonio FC fan. But I don't, and I sent a comment to one of kind of a group that I'm in with USL as other USL fans, and I was like, that game could have been 10-0 easy. I don't remember another USL Championship team that was that bad. And I hate saying that. And I know Monterey Bay's dealing with a bunch of injuries. They've got a thin roster. They're an expansion team. And it's the end of their 7-game road trip. They get to open at home next week. Phil for Sam Gladel and Kai Green, like I said here, it can't be a pretty situation right now, in Monterey Bay. But they were just from the start. It was just, I don't know. It was a one-sided match, and great for San Antonio FC, and obviously they scored the most goals in club history. So we'll dive into that. Royce, your thoughts initially on the game?
Yeah, I have to agree. It was ugly. Monterey Bay really only put together one decent chance the entire match. And that went off the post. And that was with a really good run by their number 8. Other than that, the whole team really looked disorganized. And dare I say, even though we did start, 4 academy kids against defeaters kind of looked a little more organized than the Monterey Bay. I don't know why. They're kind of all over the place. They're trying to they defended the ball. They didn't really defend space, and that was the problem. And they had a really high line the whole night, and they got beat with that high line. Like, I don't
time again.
If you know, how do I put this? If you know you're going to get countered on, don't have that high of a line. Like, sit back a little bit. And they didn't. They just kept this high line all night, and they kept getting beat, and we kept finding all that space, which I'm not going to complain about. 6-0 is an unbelievable win in the USL Championship. But, yeah, Monterey, you hope it's like the New York Islanders this season. They did not play their first home game until 15 games into their 82-game season because they had a new arena. And, yeah, they went, 1-14 to start the season, and they just missed out on the playoffs. You hope they kind of turn their season around like that, because otherwise Oh, buddy, they're not. That
They're
was that was shooting fish in a barrel right there for SAFC, for sure.
And to me, like I said here, when the lineups came out, and I'm not talking about our lineup, I'm talking about Monterey Bay's. They only had four subs, and they so they traveled with 15 on here, and one of them was a backup goalkeeper. And like I said, so to me that was a big warning shot in it. And I know you kind of already ribbed me on Twitter about saying, "Hey, this felt like a trap game." And I still stand by that comment, just for the fact that just the circumstances going in. I just didn't think Monterey Bay was that poor, and they had a they had a poor night, and I feel bad for Dallas J, because when you look at FOT Mom rankings and Sofa Score rankings, it looks like that he had a poor game. He didn't. He made a spectacular save. I think 2 saves early in the first half, and it just I kind of felt bad for for him, just for the fact that there was nothing he could do. Even the shot by Nicky Hernandez, that would that was on the near side there. I don't think he had a shot.
I'm gonna disagree on that, though. I definitely, Nicky Hernandez's goal, that needs to be saved. That's on the near
inside
post, and you've got to defend your near post. The number one thing you do, your job as a goalkeeper, defend the near post. If it comes in for a cross and gets headed in, hey, that's a defender's fault. But that Nicky Hernandez goal, that's got to be saved. And for it to go off of his hands and in, that's just bad positioning. He did have a few really good saves for sure during the game, but that one, that's on him. That's pretty much on him. The cross comes in. The center back really defended Maloney well, or it may not even been. No, it was a center back. Defended Maloney well on his run in, and didn't let him get a good shot. Didn't let him get onto his left foot, or didn't get onto a stronger right foot. So he showed him to the end line. So when he ran to the end line, all he could do was cross, and so it was on that other center back to cover. I believe it was Collier that was making the run. He covered him. The ball goes beyond Collier, and Hernandez is there. Whoever's supposed to track him didn't, and it's him versus the goaltender on that near post. The goalkeeper, that's his job to save that. Goes off his hands and in. That's on the goalkeeper.
Rafa, good morning. How are you?
Good. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well here. So, we'll kind of.
How's your nose?
Oh, it's all right. It was just great.
I made a joke earlier that the goalkeeper coach didn't have the reaction to stop a ball, so that's not good.
He needs to work on his shooting. That's
the professional. In this case, the professional is at fault, but. Yeah, get your hands up, Rafa. Come on, man.
Well, he was looking at me because they weren't even at the shooting stage.
Were they not?
It's normally where they're just warming up the goalkeeper. Where
wow. Oh yeah, so they're doing the short shots, and he short shotted it right into. Wow. Okay, fair enough. You got to have your hands up and know what's coming for that.
No, okay. It is our, and I know they said they give the little message, hey, if you're on that side, you got to watch for balls at all time. We know that, but
yeah, it's a batting practice foul ball that you got to pay attention to in baseball, even though the game's not on. Baseballs are flying, yeah, but still.
But
not a good look. Not a good look on the coach for
6-7 years we've been there. That's the earliest that I've seen a ball in the stands. So.
Wow.
So you know what kind of night it was going to be for Monterey Bay.
That's a pretty good preview for sure.
But the just to kind of look at the starting lineup, normal with the exception of Hernandez in for I'm trying to blank Gomez for that here, which I thought was I think with Marcina, I think Hernandez is going to be in place in our more attacking lineup, and if we're going more defensive, then Maloney's going to fit there, and they'll have Gomez in there. I've start with the trend here, but Your thoughts on the lineup here, either Rafa or Royce, whoever wants to grab it first.
I'll jump on real quick. I think this is a very interesting lineup just because it really gives a lot of flexibility along the wings. This is the thing that I noticed a lot, is that Nicky and Carter Manley would really switch off, and PC and Maloney would really switch off. So Maloney would come inside, PC would stay outside, Hernandez would go outside, Manley would come inside. And that's very interesting. Normally you see, like in a 4-3-3, you'll have the forwards and or in a 4-4-2, you'll have the forwards and the wingers overlap, or the right back and the right wing, they'll overlap. You'll get a lot of overlap this way. We had a lot of overlap in the midfield, which is very interesting. That caused a lot of chaos for Monterey. And then Dylan and Collier just being the, oh man, I need to come up with a name for them, because they're like the hockey forwards. They're bruisers. They run everywhere. They don't stop running. Justin makes great runs. Collier makes people look silly with his footwork. He's 6'4", and he makes people look silly with his footwork. It's unbelievable. So that pair up top has been incredible this season. And then the midfield 5, really the midfield 3, they've really destroyed everything from everybody that we've seen so far. And then, them overlapping with our wing backs. It's been an incredible lineup, and it's interesting to see where we evolved from the beginning of the Marcina experience with the 3-4-3. We've evolved into this, and man, this seems to be definitely one of the more effective formations for variability during play, as well as just domination in the midfield. So it looks good, and it was very interesting this time, and I definitely made a comment on it, and it goes with the wingbacks was who is going to be on the outside? Is it going to be Connor Maloney on the right as a right back, or is it going to be Carter Manley as a right back? Is it going to be PC as a left back, or is it going to be Maloney as a left back? And that's the kind of variability you have in this formation, that it could have been any one of those guys. And during the game, during play, it was any one of those guys to be in those different formations because of how variable this lineup is. And it's definitely something we picked up on in the beginning of the season whenever they're putting this roster together, just how many players we have that can play in all sorts of different positions at all times. And the results have really shown the variability of play. It helps, and it's made this team a lot stronger.
Your thoughts, Rafa?
This formation has really kind of opened a lot of space, especially on the wings. I think we talked about it, and I mentioned that this is one of the first formations I used when I went to 11v11 in club, because I learned it from Brennan High School, from one of the coaches that I met that won a lot of games, and he gave me pretty much the system rundown, and they're basically doing kind of the same. They're overloading sides and leaving space on, to especially like in the middle, and leaving gaps, and that's what we saw last night. There was a lot of gaps that Monterey was leaving, and every time when we switched the ball, we catch them with their pants down, and then they led to those crosses or to getting corner kicks and so forth, or opportunities to shoot. So I think Marcina also had to adjust, because I know we were playing that 3-4-3 for a while. I think because of the injuries. So it's like, you know what? Players I have, I'm gonna best utilize them in this formation, which it's working in. And who's to say? Like I said, once we get some of those players back, that we're gonna stick to this or go back to the 3-4-3. And the great thing is we can be unpredictable. We can, it's interchangeable once we get 100% healthy. And so the teams won't be able to kind of scout us out too much.
We are underway from Toyota Field, along with Hayden Partin and our inside.
Sorry.
So El Gato Blancos, I guess he's ready to see the highlights.
I know. I hear him in the back. I don't know if that's Harry's cat or if that's Rafa's cat. They're
No, that's my cat.
They're on the wall.
But yeah, that's like I said. You'll see on the highlights how they really kind of cleared a lot of space, in this formation. So we'll see moving forward if we stick to this, or depending on the players that we were out, like especially Laura and Coutinho, how are they going to fit in once they're back?
All right. Speaking of the game highlights, and of course this is through YouTube here, through the USL channel here. And our highlights is a minute longer than everybody else's for obvious reasons.
We are underway from Toyota Field, along with Hayden Partin and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Valley Sports.
Yeah, it's a tough situation being alone.
Here's the shot
5 players surrounding you.
by Monterey Bay.
Dawkins making the run inside the box. Dawkins has a step. Dawkins! Oh, he hits the woodwork here. The rebound out. Sam Galino drives it off the body of Connor Maloney, and it'll result in the Monterey Bay corner. But Dawkins,
Yeah, pause it real
just
quick.
passed it.
I just want to talk about that run real quick. This is really the only time San Antonio FC really got beat in the entire match, and it was just on an individual run and some individual brilliance by Dawkins. And he came in from the midfield. He beat both center backs, and really a big reason why this happened, and a big thing that I noticed happening a lot. Kamiri came forward a lot in this match to try to destroy, and the one time he missed and the one time he took a bad angle was this. Because that stop right there, that stop right there is what doomed him. If he continues to kind of come back and cover, he stops that easily. But he hesitated, and where he hesitated, Dawkins made a beeline toward the goal. So that would be maybe some film for Kamiri to look at, for someone to tell him, hey, continue your run, don't hesitate, continue your run. Everybody's covered. You need to cover that space in front of Jordan. But other than that, can't complain about anything. Maloney in the perfect position to block that shot. The post being a little friendly to SAFC.
A lot friendly, because if you look at the placement,
The situation being alone. Got 5 players.
And I think Farr actually gets a piece of this.
he does, yeah.
Dawkins.
I think it is a save, yeah. So Kamiri there completely misses. Like I said, should have been in a better position. And then Farr gets a hand on it right there and deflects it off the post, and the 10 is right there to tap it in, and he's too close.
Yeah, that's where we kind of got lucky, and this was the only chance that Monterey Bay had.
That was their only chance. That's it. That was their only clear-cut chance, and the 10 is just too close.
Oh, he hits the woodwork here. The rebound out. Sam Galino drives it off the
Come on,
body
Sam.
of Connor Maloney.
And can I compliment the ref for not getting involved at all, except for, and like I said, I made a comment on Twitter that I think you can count on one hand the amount of whistles, the amount of time she used her whistle, and that includes the beginning of the match, the halftime call, and the final call for the end of the match. She really let everything go and just kind of let everybody kind of ref themselves. The only time she really got involved was, I believe, Monterey Bay had 2 yellow cards for really ugly tackles. One of them by their captain, number 6, with the scissor tackle on Collier, which really could, or was it Collier or JD? It may have been JD.
There was
A really, really unnecessary scissor tackle from behind. That was ugly. That really could have hurt him. And then the other yellow was for just another really bad tackle, but those I'm sure came from frustration, because I believe it was on JD, and JD was coming to the sideline. He wasn't even going toward the goal. He was going away from the goal, and he got scissor tackled from behind. So, but that's the only time the ref really got involved, was those 2 pretty obvious yellow cards. Other than that, she just kind of, okay. Handballs happened. Okay, they weren't deliberate. Obviously, it just kind of hit your hand. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep playing. So,
the referee is Kajata Kroleva. She refereed the NWSL Challenge Cup final in 2020. She's done She Believe Cup, and also refereed the CONCACAF Women's U20 Championship. So she is a high quality referee.
I would like to see her officiate a lot more SAFC matches. I liked her style. I liked how she kept things going.
Well, we didn't have any yellow cards either.
Well, I mean, there was that. We really didn't have any yellow card worthy fouls, to be
Offenses,
honest
yeah,
with you, in this
that's-
match. But I liked her style, and it is a stark difference from that game we played against New Mexico, where there was a combined 18 yellow cards, where the ref just kept trying to butt himself into the match unnecessarily.
Yeah, that was the referee from last year.
Right, which is interesting because that was a lot. It was a lot calmer of a game that he officiated. He didn't have to put his stamp on it all that much, or I guess he's kind of matured a little bit in the role. But this was kind of an ideal officiating performance, and I really appreciated it from Katja.
Yeah, she's to me, she's one of the elite goalkeepers with pro referees. And I think I've heard Danielle speak highly of her a couple of times on a couple of different shows. So yeah, I know last year we had her one time, and I think I think it was the same type of call where she let the game play out. If there was something way out of line, she called it, but other than that, it let the game through here. So let's get to SAFC's scoring binge.
Just fantastic last couple of minutes.
Yeah, he gets by Kamiri a little too easy. I want to think Jordan had a touch there. Yeah, he did off the post. Then,
he makes a great run. Connor Maloney looking for his first. Maloney cuts it to his left. Maloney to the back post. It's Collier. It's in.
Almost think one deflection made the other deflection happen.
Was that cut by Maloney? And off of the defense.
Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, like I was talking about before, with the showing Maloney to the end line, not letting him get on his right foot. That was a good play by the I guess that would be 31. Would that be a center back coming back? I'm not sure what position that he would be in. No, 31 was the outside back because he was helping out because he was on Maloney a lot. Really good positioning by him to show him to the end line. And then 77 just kind of makes a mess of it. Doesn't clear it, completely misses it. And then on the turnaround on the block, completely misses the block. So 77 just kind of put on skates. It gives Collier a pretty easy tap-in goal, and the goalkeeper's kind of left on an island. So this one's kind of on 77 for Monterey Bay. Just kind of making two quick mistakes in a row and allowing the goal.
So I won't lie, when the play was happening here, I was hoping that he was gonna, that Maloney was gonna pass the ball over here for that here. When he starts to go to the baseline there, I was like, oh, here we go, we messed it up again. But through there, do you think Maloney would have been better off on passing it earlier?
No, because what Maloney saw is what I saw on TV. Collier was offside.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, if you go back, Collier is offside. His run is a little too quick. So Maloney looks up. You can look at him, see he's offside right there. And you can look at Collier. You can look at Maloney, look up at Collier, and realize he's offside. And that's when he takes it to the end line because he knows he needs to make that run again. He has his head up right there. He knows he's offside, so he cuts in, and then he goes with the cross. And then 77 misses it twice.
If he wasn't outside, he would have sent that pass.
He wasn't there. He wasn't when he was in the box, but before he gets to the box, he was.
If he wasn't outside, he would have wait on that
the
one.
ball there in the corners. Referee's just a little.
All right, and this is goal number 2.
I was saying earlier, neither of these teams create.
And this is some unbelievable interplay on that right side between everybody. And what a great cross from Nikki. And then PC, all PC has to do is tap it in.
Early service again behind the back line. PC just gets on the end of
Nikki looks like a player, doesn't he?
He does.
the early serve.
But to me, I know Hernandez got the goal, but to me, this play starts
the ball there
From the back, quality.
Yep.
with this pass right there,
Yep.
or right here. Pardon me.
Saying earlier, neither of these teams create
Yep.
That's-
Collier. Yeah. I mean, it goes from Garcia to Manley to Collier to Hernandez to PC. I mean, it's such good play. It's such quality play. And I say, I think every team in the USL gives up this goal in the exact same way. I don't think that's stoppable from anybody. And that's an unbelievable play right there by the entire team on the right side.
And I think this is the goal that you're talking about that should have been prevented. But
yeah,
I guess
I kind of mixed up the first goal and the third goal. But yeah, no, that's got to get saved. The goalkeeper, your number one job is
Maloney's like, how did that go in?
Yeah, pretty much, because the goalkeeper's there. He kicks it right into his hands, and it still goes in. That's on the goalkeeper.
It was like a tackle shot, put it back across, and the keeper couldn't deal with it. Wow. That was
But by the
very
time the
impressive.
keeper
You know,
touches it,
Yeah.
he's in the goal though, right?
Ball's already in.
But he's slow to the post. He's slow to defend his post.
Wow, that was very
He
impressive,
hesitated.
you know.
He comes all the way over and he stops. He hesitated.
He thought that ball was going to go outside or defended by his outside defender, but he thought he wasn't going to make it because you see how he's outstretched.
Yeah.
Well, I think we initially thought that it hit the side, the
post.
side net.
Yeah.
But once he got a good hang of that shot, I think he realized it was. Like I said, it was too late for him because it goes in on here right here.
Yeah, it's a really. I mean, it's the obvious run, but a really smart run from Collier there for him to get double teamed and to let Hernandez go completely unharassed by any defender.
Yeah, that
but,
ball bounces too.
Yeah.
He doesn't catch it. Volley.
Yeah, he doesn't catch it sweetly. He catches it; it goes off the ground. But still, the keeper's got to get to that post. The first thing he's got to defend is that post.
Is that the error there, Rafa? By Jay, is he's too far to there, even though he's coming across?
Yeah, he needs to be more. If he's about maybe right there where your mouse is at, he blocks that shot. You know, he has no problem with knocking that out. But that little gap right there, just give him enough. And like I said, he anticipated, thinking that little bounce on the ground was going to send the shot to the post or far away or over the top. He just misjudged it and not committed to the near post to actually kind of make sure that it didn't go in. Yeah, right there, it's already too late. See, if he's there, that spot he would have stopped that shot. But
1 quarter hour remaining. SAFC
placement there.
in cruise control here, up 3-0 at home over Monterey Bay.
And cruise
3
control
goals
is
coming in the
correct.
first half. That's a header at the end, or not a header, but on the
Yeah, and at this point, you can kind of tell Monterey Bay had given up for the most part because, there's two set-piece goals here that have no business being set-piece goals. And this is the number one egregious one here. Nobody attacks the ball. Nobody attacks the ball. Nobody does. It is a very a very half-hearted defense there by their number 10,
run off the ball.
but nobody attacks that ball. And what an amazing cross from
It's Dillard.
what an unbelievable cross from Gomez there to spot JD. A great run by JD and a great goal. And JD looks like the goal scorer that we know he can be right there. It's a great finish.
In between the goalkeeper and behind the back line.
And I thought Partain did a good job of calling out how, on the replay here of how Justin slowed down his run, so that way he didn't overrun it.
In Las Vegas Lights FC. That's a header from
And Jordan with the record-breaking goal here.
Nobody went with him. Right, his guy right there gets caught up, and 31's the guy who's marking Jordan, and that's who needs to continue his run on him, and he doesn't. And I think one of my favorite moments is this very end part is Kamiri has a very cheeky play on the ball,
It's a
and he thinks he's getting
historic
called for a foul or something. He's like, "What did I do wrong?" But it's the final call. It was pretty funny to watch that because Kamiri's like, "I just pulled off this sick move, and you're gonna call me for some foul." It's not a foul,
So to me, this kind of sums up the game here, and we've seen a few of these here. The game flow, the XG, San Antonio at 3.37, Monterey at 0.83. Outside of that shot in the 11th minute, Monterey they were there, but they weren't there, if that makes sense. And like I said here, obviously the higher the marks are, the better the opportunity is. And as you can see, we're building what's it? Skyscrapers compared to little houses on this one here. But
The backhand looks like downtown.
It was one of, like I said here, this game could have been 10-0 or 10-1 even if you give them that shot there.
Yeah. There were a lot of chances. You definitely showed the USL highlight package because the San Antonio highlight package had a couple of
it was 5 minutes.
It was a couple of really good saves by their keeper. One on Collier that was, oddly enough, the highest XG rating there that we saw. Was a really good save from a shot from Collier, and then PC had another really good shot that was saved over the bar. So,
the save by Jay, that in my opinion should be the save of the week, and I know that's kind of odd to say in a match that you lose 6-0, but
I don't disagree. He had really good saves, but kind of left out to dry by a really high line by Monterey, and I'm not sure why they had such a high line.
So, but looking at the stats here, San Antonio had 27 shots, Monterey 9, 11 shots on target for San Antonio, 2 for Monterey. Corners, because corners was a big deal this match on the over-under. I did the over, Rafa did the over.
Yeah, for those not in the know, on the San Antonio FC app, they had a contest. They have a contest basically every match. They ask you a stat. Do you take the over or under? And they'll draw somebody from the winning group, whoever gets the over under, and they give a nice little swag prize pack. And I think this time, wasn't it 13 and a half corners?
13 and a half, and
will it be over
corners.
Or under? Most people took under. Me and Harry definitely took the over, and we were definitely right on this one. So did you take the over or under, Rafa?
Over.
Okay, so we all took the over. So one of us three has to win, right? So we'll figure out who wins. But yeah.
To me, the big thing, like I said here, and I know we kind of talked about this here. When was the last match for San Antonio FC that San Antonio only had 5 fouls? Monterey only had 4, 2 yellow cards. I can't remember a match, especially under Marcina, where but it wasn't that type of game either. And I think San Antonio, my fear, and the reason why I said it was going to be a trap game is because I thought San Antonio would be kind of come back laid back. They must have listened to me and said, okay, hey Harry, we're not going to mess this up for you, and came out just firing. And I don't want to say it was. I don't want to say it was like a preseason match, but in some ways it kind of had that feeling, where they didn't have to do that physicality, where they didn't have to have that total aggressiveness on the defensive side. Offensively, they just tore them up. But your thoughts on the lack of fouls, Rafa, or along those lines there? It was one of those matches that, to me, it wasn't needed.
There was more of on the onset, you can see we were more of the aggressor, and I think we just kind of took, like I said, Monterey Bay out of whack, and and also that I think the boys played a lot smarter. I think they knew going into we needed to stay kind of, I guess, to say fresh of yellow cards for the next game, because maybe there were some, maybe if they got another yellow card, they had to sit out the next game versus Phoenix. And so you got to give kudos to the players. They really didn't do any serious fouls like we've done and we normally do, that we kind of hit some good and whack some people around, but especially like in the game against Mexico and so forth. But but you got to give the guys the kudos on this. They really played almost a clean game. There weren't really any serious fouls. On the other side, like I said, we got fouled. I think there was one play. I think Nicky Hernandez was on a dribble that was kind of borderline red card because he did get caught from the back. And
Right.
But they gave a yellow for that, so that's okay. So, but overall, like I said, kudos to the staff on that, having the players play pretty much close to a clean game, and I think they knew that we needed to come out this way for next week.
Royce, your thoughts on the lack of, and I don't even want to say lack of physicality, because I think San Antonio was physical, but I just think they were smart on this one here.
I don't think it was necessary. And like when we talked about the referee Katja, oh man, I'm going to absolutely butcher her last name, so I'm just going to refer to her as Katja. I don't mean any disrespect. I obviously prefer her as an official in USL. I think she's one of the top USL officials. I think it kind of comes down to her and how she really officiated the match. If she tries to put her foot in, and she kind of acts like a lot of the other USL Championship refs we see, where they try to make their mark on the match. I think SAFC gets frustrated with the refs, so they get frustrated with the refs. You get frustrated in general. You start making unnecessary fouls. I think this game just kind of flowed naturally, and just kind of let it happen. SAFC didn't really need to get all that physical, which is kind of nice considering, how the physical matches that we've played recently. It just wasn't necessary in this match. And we kind of outplayed them. And at the same time, we outplayed them whenever they're getting frustration fouls and frustration yellow cards, because we got tackled twice from behind. Once kind of going at the net, not really. The other time, nowhere near the net, and still tackles from behind where Monterey got yellow cards. So I think there's a few factors. It's the official that was officiating the match wasn't interested in really giving away a lot of yellow cards, and at the same time, I think the gameplay really didn't warrant San Antonio to be that physical. So it came out where San Antonio didn't have a yellow card.
So next up for San Antonio, next Saturday they play at Phoenix, who plays tonight against Los Dos, LA Galaxy 2. So San Antonio will have an extra day of rest. Rising is the only team to have beat San Antonio at this point, at Toyota Field 2-0. I will throw a caveat on that. That's when Justin Dillon wasn't in, and we just had the one forward up top, Collier. So I'll be interested to see kind of how it matches up with Justin Dillon in. So far, we have been undefeated on the season. For that here, after this week, it gets a little bit busy. You'll have Rising on Saturday. Next Wednesday, you'll have at Houston Dynamo an Open Cup. And then the following Saturday, they play at Miami. So San Antonio doesn't actually come back to town till the 21st, where they'll play Colorado Springs for that here. So just quick thoughts on Phoenix. I know we've already faced them once. Came up on the short end of the stick. Rafa, your thoughts initially on Phoenix, and we'll, we might delve into them a little bit later this week.
I think this time will be a different result because we didn't play with with Dylan and also that game we had to put a couple of academy players in because our bench was decimated with injuries. We still have the injuries, but I think we still have enough to challenge them, and especially now with Nicky Hernandez, they're in the center mid. Uh, he's gonna give Phoenix problems, and I think this time is going to be a different result. I have a feeling we got to pull out and get the win on the road, and like I said, we've been the road warriors, so we've gotten some big wins on the road, so I can see us winning. We just do need a win, maybe 3-0, because you mentioned about the goal,
the tiebreaker, yeah,
the tiebreaker. So, or even a 2-0. That'd be, I mean, the way we're scoring right now, I think we can overcome that. Whatever Phoenix throws in. But this is going to be a different game, and we're looking forward to getting some payback.
Royce, any thoughts on Rising upcoming?
We just need to go out there and win. Obviously, the first match we're very shorthanded. In this match, hopefully, it looks like we're not going to be. I will say that San Antonio did have an Instagram post where they were said warming up for the match, and the two players that they showed warming up, along with Sean Arders, the conditioning coach, was Eitez Diouf and David Loera.
Yes,
they're obviously warming up. They're both in training. David did have an ice pack during this week's training on his right hamstring. So it's obviously where the injury is. They're trying to keep swelling down from it. But they're both active in training, so they're pretty dang close to coming back. Patino was seen in civvies and civilian clothing, so I'm not sure how close he is to coming back. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a lot sooner than later, and hopefully the re-aggravation, they're going to take it easy with him, especially on a re-aggravation. They're probably going to give him 4 to 6 weeks to come back from whatever injury he had. I think he also had a hamstring issue.
Yeah.
During the Austin match. And then the other guy, Traore, we'll see. I don't know. I think he got a knock. I don't know if that was a muscle. I think Traore got a knock and he came out. So we'll see. We'll see when they come back. But this all kind of ties into the Phoenix match with going with, are you 100%? Are you healthy? And we're in a lot better, healthier space now than we were when we played them at home the first time. So hopefully we get the result. Phoenix, I saw some unbelievably strange tweets from Phoenix fans yesterday saying is Collins' job in jeopardy because he has, 1 win in 7 matches, but
Neil Collins.
Yeah, they mostly have draws and they're still in a playoff spot. So I don't know what y'all are complaining too much about, but I guess you automatically think you're supposed to be at the top of the league. But buddy, that doesn't happen.
Tampa's in an interesting situation.
Yeah, I was just gonna get to them.
Well, that's who Neil Collins coaches.
Oh, is that Collins? Oh, see, I thought that was Phoenix because that was somebody Phoenix. We're talking about Collins with. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's my bad. It's also very early in the morning.
To the Rowdies.
No, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the Rowdies have had some not so good results, and they haven't looked very good. In yesterday's match, the game-winning goal they gave up to San Diego. Their entire team was gassed. They were done in the 87th minute. They were sucking wind. And they gave up that third and eventually winning goal by San Diego. Yeah, that didn't look good for them at all.
Yeah, so just to kind of go over scores, the Rowdies had a rough week. They lost on Wednesday at Memphis 3-1. And then last night in an interconference match, which doesn't help us, they lost to San Diego 3-2 at Al Lang. So not good. El Paso looks like they might be kind of turning the corner. They got a 3-1 win at Loudoun. Now it is against Loudoun, so take that through there. Detroit City, who San Antonio is the only team so far that has or Detroit City has only lost to San Antonio FC. Continues to impress. They got 17 points, 5 wins, 2 draws, and the loss here. They got a 2-0 win against the Red Bulls. That it's almost like clockwork, 0-0 at the half, and then they make some second half adjustments. They come through. Probably the big match in the East, Louisville knocked off Pittsburgh in Louisville 2-0. Indy 11 got by Hartford 1-0. Hartford, unfortunately, is having a rough year. 1 tie, so only 1 point in their first 7 matches. Out west, RGV lost to Orange County, so that means they've lost the tiebreaker to Orange County for that here. Colorado Springs got a 3-0 win against Oakland, and Sacramento and Vegas ended up in a 1-1 draw. So where that leaves us at this point here, Colorado Springs, San Antonio, basically identical now. Goal difference 21 points, 7-0-1. The one loss for San Antonio is to Phoenix. May 21st, they will go head to head. For that here, San Diego has played an extra game in third place at 19 points, 6-1-2. Rising, they play LA Galaxy tonight, which I'd expect they'll be able to win. But they're at 15 points, so that they'll be 18. So you can see that right at the top there, it's Colorado Springs, San Antonio. Through here, the only team out east with 21 points is Louisville, 6 wins, 3 draws. So the West is putting down some points right now. Plus 10 goal difference. So that's the huge thing for San Antonio, is they close that gap with Colorado Springs on the goal difference for that here. I am kind of interested to see John from USL Tactics, his updated numbers this week to kind of see how this offensive burst kind of inflates San Antonio FC's XG numbers and the analytics side of it. And I know John made mention last week that the analytic numbers don't show the real picture of how San Antonio is playing. And Royce, you might be able to go into a little bit more on that since you're more into the analytics, than I think me and Rafa are. Because I think San Antonio had a upside down XG where their XG was that the goals for was actually lower than what the goals against, even though if you look at the quality of shots, that doesn't match up with that.
Well, the results doesn't match up with that. That's kind of where it comes from. But it really comes from the fact that San Antonio has scored 8 goals in the first 7 matches. And then we go out there and throw 6 down. So now in 8 matches, we have 14 goals. So that's almost 2 a game. We were averaging just over
1,
barely over 1. And now we're approaching 2. I think that's going to change things around a lot as far as kind of stats go per game. But yeah, we'll see where everything comes out. In XG's it's a really tough stat per match. It's a really tough stat to go by. It's really over a period of time where that really shows
the play and truth.
It'll actually show what it needs to show per match. Rough, but over a period of time, whether it's a quarter of the season, which we're a little over, to half a season, then it'll actually start showing kind of what it's supposed to show. So,
and yes, Robert, SAFC has conceded 4 goals, 2 of them to Phoenix, and I think they're
is that 4 straight clean sheets for Jordan Farr?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
See, the team, we're built for defense. We're not built for a high-powered offense at all. But the way we're built is to win close 1-0, 2-1 games, that's why maybe the analytics to this, we're not the SG's low, but hey, but that doesn't show that we're actually getting quality wins. So, but that's kudos to Marcina building that defense. Like I said, defense wins championships, and that's what's going to matter the most towards just pretty much all the way to the end of the season.
And yeah, I mean that. When I went on my Marcina rant in the last show, this is exactly what I was talking about. Strong in the midfield, strong on the back line. The front will figure itself out. And Collier and Dylan have been. I gotta. Like I said, I need to come up with a name for them. They've been unbelievable, and they wear you out. They run everywhere. They're physical. They'll out dribble you. They're unbelievable.
So, for the month of May. San Antonio, just for the upcoming schedule, just to give everybody a heads up, they play actually next Sunday, actually May 8th. Is that right? So they don't play on Saturday, they play Sunday? So that means we're going to have to adjust our schedule again. Gosh darn it.
And just a heads up, I'll be in Chicago, so...
No. May 7th.
Do they play the 7th?
9:30.
Yeah, May 8th is Mother's Day.
Yeah, I will not be able to do anything on Mother's Day because A, I'll be in Chicago. B, there's no way I can podcast on the road during Mother's Day. Yeah,
so we'll have to
do a midweek show.
Show.
Tuesday.
So Fatma let me down on that. I was like May 7th. May 7th. Then they play the Dynamo on that Wednesday.
On the 11th. Yep.
On the 11th.
And then Saturday in Miami.
Then they come home to Colorado Springs, and then Memorial Day weekend, they go down to RGV for that here. So for May, you're talking about another loaded schedule coming up. Most of them are away for that here. And then after the Memorial Day, they got, a trip out west to Sacramento and Monterey Bay before they really get some home cooking for that here. So you're really only going to have one opportunity for the month of May to catch San Antonio FC at home. If not, what sounds crazy, it'll be middle of June 18th before you get to see them again at Toyota Field. So if you don't have tickets for that Colorado Spring match, you want to get tickets because that is going to be a great match to see. And I'll be interested to kind of see how San Antonio stacks up against a improved switchbacks with Cam Lindley for their hair. Any final thoughts that you got on San Antonio FC?
Just hoping we get, another three straight wins before the Colorado game.
A 9-point week.
9-point week, but 6-point week, and then an advancement to the round of 16. I know the Houston's already talking we took down the Western Conference leader, so they said we're going to take it on you next week. So that'd be great to knock off Houston and get into the round of 16, be the first time ever, and who knows where we can go from there. But like I said, we do need to get
a play Dallas, assuming Dallas or Kansas City most likely.
Yeah.
So my question is if we beat Austin, if we beat Houston, and if we play Dallas and beat them, do we get the Copa Tejas MLS trophy too?
We should.
You think so, right? Like that's the natural conclusion to that. That's you own here. It's yours. Yeah, you think so.
But there's still lots of work to do, and I was telling people, hey, slow down on because we beat Austin beat Houston, that we're automatic players. Like, no, hold on, we play them in 2 weeks. Let's
still got to play the match, and we still got to show that we are better than them on the field, which I think we can. I think we definitely can.
I think we can. Rafa, one final question that I have here for you, and Royce, you can pipe in on this as well. this last match, there was no supporters group presence. There were supporters there, but they were not actively, drumming. There were no banners, anything along those lines. If you want to give us kind of a summary of kind of what took place during the week, between San Antonio FC and the supporters group, because they did, they must have listened to our show, because they made sure not to fall into the trap mode for that here, and then they also did follow up with what Royce was looking for: direct communication, public acknowledgement of the situation for that here. So if you can kind of just give us kind of an update of where things kind of are, to the best of your knowledge, between San Antonio FC and the supporters groups.
I think hopefully, what I heard, I think they met this week, and hopefully there'll be a resolution to this. And you can say that SAFC dropped the ball on Wednesday, and I think they're really trying to fix a lot of this and reassure the supporters in the bunker, that we have your support. We support you guys and stuff, and yeah, we dropped the ball on this, and we need to make it up for you some way, somehow, to make things more, I think, better in there. And hopefully they'll resolve that, especially with some of the people that were affected by it. Hopefully they get assurances that this won't happen again, and just we do need to fill that area, because last night it was kind of a little weird, just not hearing anything and not seeing anything over there. And this was actually a big game too, because we scored a bunch of goals. So I can imagine all the smoke bombs going off for that game, but for last night. But it didn't happen. But hey, I understand the people that were affected by it. They felt let down, and I don't blame them from that. And and hopefully this is a lesson learned. But still, there are things that you have to compromise, or they're giving you an opportunity to compromise stuff, and not just walk out or whatever. You have to have communications, and sometimes you have to put your pride aside and just sit down and, okay, let's iron this out. What can we do to fix this? And that's that. So hopefully moving forward the next game, because the 21st is a big game, and we need to make it loud, and we're gonna make it uncomfortable for Colorado, because this game means a lot, and we do need to win it, and especially for the tiebreaker, because this may come down to us in Colorado winning the conference and getting the seeding and so forth. So hopefully, like I said, things will improve, and things will get better after this.
And I do know they created some task force that has members of the supporters groups, members of the front office, and I forget there's another party involved. With security.
It's a security detail, right?
So, and I'm going to say this, and I hope San Antonio FC takes this, takes this to heart. I hope this isn't just a lip service, saying, "Hey, we screwed up. We understand we screwed up," and you put out the acknowledgement. I do hope that they do listen to the supporters group, and to be fair, the supporters groups has to listen to security and understand their concerns and along those lines for that here. But I think the biggest issue that I've got from people that I've talked to, and even on mine, is I think where San Antonio really messed up, and I think where they broke the trust, because San Antonio, and I know they were put in a tricky situation, but it didn't seem like San Antonio backed the supporters group, especially in this situation where it was pretty clear that, there wasn't meant any foul, there wasn't meant any harm, by the beer throwing and stuff like that. The shirt situation, I personally don't like, but I know that San Antonio FC tried to work with the individuals, and it just didn't work out. So that's a little bit different. But to me, it comes down to that trust, and that's where San Antonio FC is going to have to work, and that's where I hope this committee that they're putting together, or this task force, will actually be good and work to be able to build the supporters group section together, because let's be honest, the supporters group section, while it's better than it was a year or so ago, it's still not where it was from 3, 4, 5 years ago for that here. So we need to work on rebuilding that back up, getting younger members involved in it, and being more active through there here. But Royce, your final thoughts on the supporters group and drama from, or I guess it's not supporters group drama, but the issue with the supporters group, from the Austin FC match.
Yeah, the fallout from everything. I expected no supporters to be out there, and that's absolutely their prerogative. I get that. A bit of a protest to kind of show, and there were a lot of comments as well that the atmosphere at the match, just for being, I think there's a comment, for being up 3-0 at half, this stadium kind of feels dead. And it just goes to shows how important the supporters groups are. You also understand how they feel disrespected from the Austin match, that things seem to have changed. The whole T-shirt issue, you get that from you understand that from just a club's point of view, that you don't really want language like that being affiliated with
You're a family-oriented team
group. Exactly. You're supposed to be able to allow families in there. You can't have that. And from what we've heard, they were offered San Antonio FC shirts, like, hey, we'll give you these, just please take those off, and it was refused. That's a little frustrating for the club, and you understand that. On the other side of it, that the one law enforcement officer that kind of did what that referee did in New Mexico United, where he gave out 18 yellow cards, he unnecessarily butted himself in a situation that did not need it, and really escalated a situation that wasn't even a situation, and let everyone down. He let the sheriff's office down. He let the fans down, the supporters groups down, and he let San Antonio FC down. And that's where, and that's kind of on SAFC, who hired him in the first place, to not vet that. And that's why I think that that committee is so important, between the security detail, between the supporters groups, and between the club. And I hope they all take it very seriously, because this is a learning moment. All you can do is learn. It happened. Get past it, learn from it, be better from it. And that's what everybody needs to be. And that's what I'm hoping everybody does, is we're better from it. As far as pride, and it sucks. I get it. The situation sucks. Be better. Be better for the future, if anything. If even if you don't, you may not feel safe, I get that. But try to help participate in it and try to build the future. Don't just cut it off and like it doesn't mean anything. It's important for the city. It's important for the club to continue this. And I hope everybody, like Harry said, hope you take it seriously from the club, because it's embarrassing. It's not good, but it's a learning moment. And that's all everything is a learning moment. And that's what we need to do is learn from this, be better from this, and come back stronger.
Final thoughts, Rafa. Looks like Everton is up on Chelsea, so there's a little bit left on that. So hopefully we can wrap this up, and I'll watch the end of that before I go grocery shopping. But your final thoughts that you have on anything that you want to discuss besides Real Madrid.
That hashtag right there, it says it all right there. Real Madrid clinched their 35th loss point. So then Marcelo was the all-time lead trophy winner there at Real Madrid. So congratulations to him, and hopefully we'll get some more hardware this week and knock off Man City.
We're not getting past City, dude.
You never know. Don't count out our team, because we've been down, so they can come back. So, but it's gonna be a fun game, But what can you say about Karim Benzema? That guy's been on fire.
A stud.
He's a stud. 42 goals, and that's the Ballon d'Oro winner. He deserves it. I mean, he really kind of and that's you gotta give it to him with all the the personal stuff that happened to him with that little thing with the French national team, but he's really taken this team on his back and done and been that leadership ever since Ronaldo left. So kudos to him, and then hopefully looking forward to a win on Saturday against Phoenix. Hopefully we can go there and ruin their party and come back with 3 points.
Royce, your final thoughts?
I wish I had something more profound, but I guess it's a supporters group. I missed them, even watching on TV. Full disclosure, I got kind of sick last night. Feeling better now, but watching on TV, there was a noticeable difference that the supporters groups weren't there, and I hope we can all get past this. And like I said, I hope we can be stronger together after the incidents from the Austin match. I know they're disappointing to a lot of people, but like I said, all we can do is get together, work together, and be better from it. At the same rate, it's going to be a very busy week for SAFC. Once again, 3 matches in about 7 or 8 days. Let's get those results. Let's go, boys. Another big week. Let's go.
And my final thoughts. Number one, Monica and I celebrated 21 years this week here. So thank you, Monica. Without the support of you, and this goes for Royce and for all of us that do this, that are married. Sorry, Rafa. Having the support, of
to be honest with you, that's not a bad thing from Rafa. But anyway, congratulations, Harry, for sure.
But having the support of Monica, for doing this, because this, there is a cost, there is time, and she is very supportive of what I do and the passions that I have for the game here. So through there, also with next Sunday being Mother's Day, we may or may not have another SAFC show before then. So happy Mother's Day to all of us, Susie, Monica, and everybody else out there. Like I said here, after the SAFC match, next Sunday, go out and spend some time with your mom. As somebody that didn't really have a mom growing up, but it is one of those things that I feel like I missed out on. And especially seeing how my wife treats our kids here, it's such a blessing to be able to have. So the one day of the year where where we celebrate mothers, make sure that you do. And I know, Rafa, for you, like I said here, your mom's a pivotal part in your life, especially after the loss of your father. So hopefully everybody has a great Mother's Day along those lines, and gears up for another 3-match week next week here. So hope everybody has a wonderful week. Matt, I'm glad you woke up. You're a little bit late, but you can catch the rest of the episode, and I'll get it uploaded later on this morning here. But I hope everybody has a great day. What's life without goals? We're out of here.
See ya.